This is KCBD News Channel 11 at 6.
Depression, suicidal thoughts, mind-altering drugs, and a loaded gun. The four things Hollis Daniels' defense attorneys say led to the death of Texas Tech policeman Floyd East Jr. It is now up to a jury whether to spare the killer's life. Good evening, and thank you for joining us.
It will be life or death for Hollis Daniels. Today, the former Texas Tech student pleaded guilty to shooting and killing Tech police officer Floyd East Jr. in 2017.
Now, Daniels and his defense are fighting against lethal injection. KCBD News Channel 11 Shaylee Sanders joins us live from the Lubbock County Courthouse with testimony for and against the death penalty. Shaylee?
Karen and Namner, cameras are not allowed in the courtroom, but I can tell you every row was filled today. The judge actually started by acknowledging that that room had become standing room only. It holds 125 people. Now, Daniels appeared calm today in the courtroom, dressed in a Navy suit. He faced forward throughout the day's proceedings. His attorneys told the jury Daniels will take the stand because he wants to answer all of the state's questions. However, the defense says Daniels has large gaps in his memory and cannot independently recall many of the details from the night of the deadly shooting because he was on mind-altering drugs. A former friend of Daniels took the stand and said he had started to distance himself from Daniels because Daniels would have angry outbursts that became more frequent with his drug use. The friend said Daniels said he was using marijuana, Xanax, and LSD. Now, this isn't Daniels' first run-in with the law. When he was in high school, he was arrested on drug charges, but he successfully completed the program, and his record was sealed until now. Prosecutors read a few entries from a workbook Daniels was required to complete as part of that drug court program. Now, in the book, Daniels wrote that he needed to respect officers more and that he would be great. This was just a minor setback. Daniels does face the death penalty or life in prison without parole. We will continue to keep you updated throughout this trial. Reporting live from the courthouse, Shaylee Sanders, Karen and Abner, back to you.
Thank you, Shaylee.